Hi there, gorgeous people. I'm Pritika Kapoor. Welcome back to my channel. And today we are going to do a makeup masterclass because I've realized that most of my subscribers are either aspiring makeup artists or are willing to upgrade their makeup skills. So I thought a masterclass a month should be a very good way of connecting with you guys. Well, if you're not subscribed to my channel already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and click on the bell icon next to it. And let's get into creating this beautiful lilac radiant makeup look. Well, for this look, I'm going to use a lot of cream based pigments, and I've already mixed a lilac pigment, a purple pigment, and I'm going to use white pigment as well. So I've prepped her skin. I'm going to start with the white pigment here on the inner corner of her eyes. Now Muskan here has a lot of eyelid space for me to work with and be artistic with. In case you have clients with smaller eyes, then also this is a very good approach to make their eyes pop and look bigger and brighter. Well, over here, as you can see, I'm stroking the product out and upward. This way I'm going to make her eyes open and look bigger. Well, we're going to emphasize on that a lot with this look because gradient looks are majorly popular among my clients, especially when they have like really very small eyelid space and they want to open up their eyes. Now I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side of her eyes as well, just until I am satisfied with the color. I'm going to keep filling it up, keep adding it up. Now I'm brushing off her eyebrows with a clean spoolie. Well, the eyebrows are going to be like really very soft and not too defined, so I'm going to brush it off nicely, and I'm going to use this eyebrow wax to just brush it and put it in place. So as you can see, I'm going to do a bushy eyebrow. You must have gotten it by now, so make sure that you're separating the eyebrows and keeping it clean. Now I'm going to take the back side of the spoolie and I'm going to just stick the brows to the skin in a way that I want them to stay. It makes your job easier when you're filling the eyebrows. You know where are the gaps and where you need to fill in. Well, once this is done and I'm happy with the shape, I'm just going to remove the excess product around the eyebrows to just make sure that there is nothing sticking around her face. Now you take a eyeliner brush and coat it nicely with your eyebrow tint and fill in the gaps with hair-like strokes to make sure that you're just filling in the gaps and still making your eyebrows look bushy and natural. So you're not trying to create any lines or defined eyebrows as such. Make sure that both the sides of your eyebrows are balanced and work around till you get your perfect eyebrows. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to take some concealer and I'm just going to clean the excess product that is moved around the eyebrows. Just to clean everything around, I'm going to use this concealer. And I'm just going to blend it off with a clean beauty blender. It's a damp beauty blender. We want the product to be in place and not be absorbed by the beauty blender. This is why we generally tend to wet our beauty blenders. Now I'm going to also take some of this product on her eyelid to just make sure that I have clean canvas to work with. Now what I'm doing is I've mixed a pigment of red, blue and white to create this gorgeous shade of purple. I'm going to create this soft triangle on the corner of her eye. So this is something that I like to start with, and then I'm going to use a clean brush to buff this out. These pigments are very strong, and when you're working with pigments, you have to make sure that less is more. You cannot use it like you would normally use your eyeshadows. So build it instead of going with too much product at once. Take a little and then build it up. As you can see, I'm stroking the product inward and outward and trying to extend this triangle corner a little outward towards her eyebrows. So this way I'm going to get this wider eyes and bigger eyes illusion. And use a clean brush for this because you don't want too much pigment again around her eyes. So for as long as you're happy, keep blending and keep buffing. There's never enough of blending. Now I'm using some lilac shade from this Forever 52 palette and I'm mixing it with a little bit of purple. And I'm again going on the outer corner of her eyes and working very close to her lash line. So this way I'm going to get the perfect structure for the eye that I want. And again, blending is the key, so make sure you're blending the pigment with the eyeshadow. While applying this eyeshadow, you have to make sure that you're not moving around too much, you're not putting too much pressure again. And this way you're not just intensifying your pigment, but you're also making sure that the pigment doesn't move around, especially when you're working with cream pigments. Make sure that you are setting it with some eyeshadow. Now I'm taking a clean brush again and removing the excess product, because again, this is not a violet sort of an eye makeup, it is more towards the lilac family, so we're just trying to make sure that everything is soft and well blended. Now I'm taking a makeup remover wipe and I am taking off the excess product from the eyelid, because this is where I want the gradient effect to come. So I am taking off the excess of violet color from here and just making sure that it is clean and ready to work on. And then I'm going to take a clean swab and I'm just going to remove the leftover product from the makeup wipe to just make sure that the product sticks to the eyelid. Otherwise there are chances that the skin just doesn't let the product stay on it for long, it'll keep moving around. Now I'm going to take again the same white pigment that I've started with and I'm taking it on the eyelid this time, to just make sure that everything is well blended. Now as you can see, I'm going very close to the crease but not on the crease. And now I'm taking a clean brush and just blending this out. So I'm going to repeat this multiple times till I get the perfect white shade on the inner corner. And as you can see, there's already some sort of a gradient that's coming up. That's because of the existing pigment on the eyelid. It's now blending with the white shade that we are adding, and you're getting the soft lilac shade as you move outward. Well, keep doing this till you're happy. Now whatever is left on the brush, I'm taking it towards the eyebrows. Now I'm going to take the white eyeshadow from the same Forever 52 palette and liberally pack it all over the white pigment. So now you can see that the white color is more and more defined. So just repeat this for or until you get your desired shade. As you can see, the maximum product is towards the inner corner, and as you move out, the shade of white is more softer and the pigment from the violet pigment from the bottom is popping up and creating that gradient. So this is still the first step, we are just starting off, you guys. Now you have to understand how to exactly create that gradient effect. So I'm going to take some more of this purple color from Forever 52 palette and I'm going to pack it, bring it towards the inner corner, again keeping it towards the center of my eye. Now I'm going to take a clean brush, it's a buffing brush, and I'm going to buff everything together and make sure that there is a marriage of both white and violet to create that lilac gradient. So this is how you slowly move from the outer corner with the violet shade towards the inner corner that has the white shade, and in the center you create this gorgeous lilac transition. And now what I'm doing is I'm taking a makeup remover wipe again and I'm cleaning off the product that has moved around her eyes to just make sure that there is a clean wing around her eyes and there is nothing falling or there's no fallout on the face. Well, with this product you don't really have a fallout, but just to make sure that there is no pigment anywhere. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking an eyebrow tint and I'm just brushing the eyebrows with this to just make sure that the eyebrows are more defined and there's some depth to the eyebrows. Now I'm taking the concealer around her eyes and just packing it to make sure that there's more pop to the eyes. Well, I'm going to use very little base on her face because I want the face to be very neutral and natural. So I'm going to do a lot of concealing around the places where I see discoloration or any sort of imperfections. So there I'm going to work and I'm going to highlight her face the normal way using the same color. Well, it is slightly lighter than her natural skin tone. That is because it's summers, and by the end of this makeup you will see that everything will settle in and will start matching with her actual skin tone. So you have to make sure that you are working with the climate and with the client's texture and quality of skin. That's how you need to decide how much product you want on your client's face. Now, one thing with Muskan's skin is it was slightly towards the dry, especially around her mouth. So that is another reason why I wanted to use very little product on her face. Now, as you can see, I am just correcting, spot correcting wherever I see that there's any sort of discoloration or blemish. I'm just doing spot correction and blending everything out with this beauty blender. Now I'm going to start contouring her face. For contouring, I'm using liquid foundation, which is very sheer. It's not a full coverage foundation. And then I'm just going to create a beautiful contour for her nose to make it look more smaller and skinnier. And then I'm going around her face. Well, her face doesn't need too much of contouring. She's got well defined jawline, so I'm going to work on her cheeks predominantly to just make sure that everything looks chiseled. Now for her chin, I'm going to do a little bit of definition over here around her chin. So as you can see, this is different. You cannot contour your client's face the usual way. You have to understand the structure of your client's face and then start the contouring. So with her, I have not done any contouring on her forehead, as you can see, and her forehead is already very small, so I don't want to do too much contouring around that. I just wanted to define her chin and her cheeks and the nose. So that is exactly where I worked with, and with whatever is left, I'm taking it on her jawline to just make sure everything is well blended. Now as you can see, for again contouring, I'm going up and in. So this is a motion that I prefer to do when I am contouring my client's face. Just make sure that everything is moving up and nothing is going down. Now I've taken some foundation. Again, this is a liquid foundation which has sheer coverage, and it's very little, like literally a drop of it, and I'm taking it all over her face to just blend everything together, to just make sure that in case there is anything that still needs any sort of correction, then that is blurred out with the foundation. And the foundation is her actual skin tone again, so this way, in case there is too much of brightening anywhere on her face, that gets evened out. Now as you can see, I have sprayed her face with the Makeup Forever setting spray, and now I'm just dabbing everything into her skin to make sure that the makeup doesn't move. I have used the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette for bronzing her face. Well, after liquid contouring, you don't really need powder contouring, but I like to go one step extra to just pack everything together with a bronzing powder. That way I ensure that there is no bronzer moving around. Well, again, this is optional, depends completely on your client's face, the weather and everything all together. Now as you can see, wherever I have contoured her face, I'm just going with a little bit of this bronzing powder on top of it. And for her forehead, as you can see, just a little bit wherever I feel the light is falling on her face and creating a shadow. That's exactly where I'm working on and buffing everything with a clean brush. This looks perfect. Now I'm taking some MAC powder foundation under her eyes to set her under eyes and also to set her overall makeup with this particular powder foundation. So this way I'm getting full coverage. I wouldn't say full coverage, but enough coverage to just make sure that all the imperfections are blurred out. Now I'm going to teach you how to work around the mouth. As you can see, Muskan here has fine lines around her mouth because of dryness. So just make sure that you are going with the powder foundation on top of it. Just don't use too much of product, because again, that is going to highlight those fine lines. Now I'm going to take some banana powder under her eyes. Why I'm doing this is because not for basically baking is already done. I'm doing this just to avoid any fallouts on her face and a little bit of baking around her mouth. Now I'm going to take the same pigment that I have made in the beginning of the video and line the lower lash line. Here I'm not going to use any kajal pencil or any kohl or any eyeliner. Everything I'm going to do is with this pigment alone. So I'm just going to take some eyeshadow of the same shade under her eyes to pack everything together so that nothing moves around. I'm using a darker shade of purple from the eyeshadow palette, and I'm just packing the outer corners of her eyes to just make sure that there is more definition to the eyes. This is optional again, you guys. And then as you can see, I'm going very close to her upper lash line as well with the same shade to create that gorgeous definition around her eyes. Muskan here has got beautiful eyes, so I just had to work around with what she naturally has, and just make sure that everything is well blended. Now the way it has all come together, it looks really gorgeous. Well, here is one tip that I would like to share with you guys for that perfect wide eye illusion. What I'm doing here is I've taken a black gel eyeliner, and I'm slightly with very gentle strokes actually pulling out the product from the inner corner towards her nose. This will create that beautiful foxy eye effect, and I'm going to blend it with the rest of the eye makeup. Very gentle, be very gentle, keep your strokes very light and smooth, and then take your mascara and fill in your eyelashes with it. Now go from the bottom of the lash, wiggle it and move upward. As you can see, I've asked my client to look down, and I'm pulling her eyelid to just make sure that the product is very well spread across her eyelashes, and it is also at the comfort of your client. Now take the same product towards the lower lash line and make sure that you are packing the lower lashes with this for that perfect framing of eyes. Well, if your client has thick eyelashes, then you don't really need to add any falsies, but Muskan here needed some falsies. So what I've done is I've taken natural single falsies and I've just added it to the outer corner of her lash line. As you can see, this is just adding some dimension to her eyes, and it looks really, really very natural. Doesn't look like I've added any eyelashes over here. So in case you want to achieve this kind of look, then yes, using natural false single lashes of course is the way to go. Now for her face, I have used a very natural peach blush to just add some flush to the face. And it again, as you know, this is a gradient makeup look, and the whole idea is to focus on the eyes and the lips. So with the cheeks, I'm keeping it very minimal. Again, I have sprayed her face with some face mist to add some extra glow and gloss to the face, and then on top of it I am going with this highlighter shade from Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. This highlighter is absolutely perfect for summers because it doesn't look like too much of product on the face. Also, highlighting has to be minimalistic, cannot be too much over the board, otherwise it doesn't meet the purpose that it is there for. It is supposed to blur out all your imperfections, not to highlight them. So make sure you're using a very soft highlighter that's very gentle and is on the highest points of your face to just make your face look naturally glossy and healthy. Well, again, I'm taking some of this product on the inner corner of her eyes as well. And then for her lips, I'm using the same pigment but with a buffing brush. Now why a buffing brush is because she has thinner lips, and this technique will make it look more fuller, also popularly known as smooched lips. Not literally but technically. Personally, I love this technique because it makes your lips look naturally plump and healthy. Now what I'm doing is I'm cleaning up the excess of product moving around with this concealer, and I'm going back and forth with concealer and pigment until I am happy with the lip shape that I achieve. So just go back and forth and keep correcting and filling. Then I'm taking this white pigment again on the center of her lips, and I'm buffing it out towards the outer corner of her lips. Now this way I'm getting a gradient lip, so it matches very well with her eyes. I'm using this lip gloss from Huda Beauty. It's a beautiful pink shade. I'll put it in the center of her lips to finish this look. It looks so stunning and so beautiful to look at, and the colors are so summer friendly that this alone can be a perfect editorial makeup look for this summer. Also, you can use this on your brides maid and your brides with slight changes made to it. It's perfect for summers. With right technique and right products, you can achieve flawless skin no matter how your client's natural skin texture is. It will end up looking perfect on camera. So if you enjoyed watching this video and learned something from it, then don't forget to hit the like button and comment below. Also subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon for more amazing videos. See you in my next masterclass. Bye bye.